Have with us Scott Lagasse Jr. joins us, and Scott, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I got your press release last week about starting your own race team in the Nationwide Series. Started out last week at New Hampshire, got a 26th place finish. I know it's tough. You know, we talk to drivers all the time about how tough the climate is out there to find a racing ride and the sponsorship and everything. And just glad to see that you decided that heck with everybody else, I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to rely on my own devices to make this happen. Talk about how this kind of came about, working with the Boy Scouts of America as your primary sponsor.
You know, it really was I guess a situation or circumstance, maybe you could say. I'm not sure how to really answer that question. You know, I'd been in part of two different teams, and we got to running really well, and both teams ended up having to fold up. And you know, I was in a fortunate position that I had the ability to get some advice from John Bickford and some other really smart people in the sport, and they all talked me into kind of or suggest I look into expanding our program. Like, you know, I always have had a program that since I was growing up, and when I moved to Charlotte, I kind of made it back. You know, we shrunk it back down again, and really just made it dirt cars, and was helping a couple kids development-wise, and he really decided to expand it back into the Nationwide Series, and you know, fortunately, I've got a lot of really sharp people around me, and so I'm excited. You know, you can't ask for anything better than to have hybridlight.com and the Boy Scouts of America as sponsors for us. America's Incredible Pizza Company still on board, and that's always cool to have really long-term relationships.
Talking with Scott Lagasse Jr. and you know, you talk about being bred into this thing. Your dad had a huge amount of success as well. I know doing stuff land speed record-wise, doing road racing. At what point did you decide, or did you think, or did you know that you wanted to be a race car driver?
You know, it's funny. Probably a lot different than most people. I grew up racing and working on dad's cars and being around it, build my own cars, and it was just something that came naturally to me and was fun. You know, it's always fun to win at something, and I was just lucky to win. And really, my first race in go-karts, and then my first race in a stock car before I even could drive on the street. You know, so of course you say to yourself, "Well, this is fun. I want to keep doing it." But honestly, it was. I went away to college about 2 hours from home. I went to the University of Central Florida, and I found myself 6 months into school going over and working on other guys' cars. And I think that's when I really realized that, you know, I was willing to put the energy into it to get through the times that weren't fun, and to you know, just it's a whole different level when you're doing it as a career is when you're doing it for fun. And so it was really probably then when I decided that I was willing to put the energy and sweat tears into it. So
we're talking to Scott Lagasse Jr. Scott, you come from a background of a family that's had race teams, so this isn't all new to you. Some guys that get into their own team thing, I think it's an ego thing. It sounds to me like this was much more of a business decision. If I'm reading that wrong, let me know. But what I want to know, going into this as you are, what kind of expectations are you given by the Boy Scouts of America, for example? What do they expect? I mean, do they give you, you know, we want to see finishes in this, you know, range after so many races, or is it that specific, or is it all more internally driven pressure but from you?
No, I mean, that's the really, really cool thing about it with both Hybrid Light, I guess all three the major companies, and even the smaller associates and people that have been helping out, is there isn't any pressure from that. You know, we were, in regards to the Boy Scouts, they came about in a strange fashion. I went and did a Pinewood Derby for them. I said, you know, is really cool. This is a great organization.
Yeah.
They teach kids great values and work ethic, and this would be fun to be a part of. And so, you know, Gary Baker at the time, I was driving for him, and he had a relationship and thought it'd be a great fit. So he started working down that road, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to make things happen with his deal. So we he helped me. It took 16 or 17 months, but Mr. Baker, you know, and that just tells you the kind of individual he is. Mm-hmm. But he said, you know, this is a great fit, and so we worked on it together, and he'll still be involved in our organization, and I'm excited about that. So, but there's really no performance deal, and that's the neat thing that all the organizations know exactly where I'm at and where we are as a group, and are looking for the future. And you know, I talked to a couple people, and they said, "Man, I had no idea how you got the Boy Scouts of America," because there were some pretty big name teams, pretty big name drivers entertaining them very aggressively. And what they said to me is that you're a perfect fit. We like what you're about. We like the fact that it's family oriented, and we're proud to be a part, and we want to do this long term. So, you know, that's the neat thing is, you know, our group is going to put the pressure on us to run good, and you know, we had what was going to be a solid week this weekend, and had a tire come apart, and that just happened. You know, kids could be mad, crew chief couldn't be mad at the guys. We were heading the right direction, and felt like we were going to have accomplish our goals for the weekend. So, but I'm excited about Kansas and moving forward for sure.
We're talking with Scott Lagasse, and Scott, one of the interesting things is I know that your ultimate goal is to have this race team centered out of your hometown of St. Augustine and run everything out of there. Do you look at teams like ThorSport that's up here in Sandusky, Ohio? You look at Furniture Row that's in Denver, and do they give you some sort of feeling like, hey, you know what? Not everybody has to have their race team centered in Charlotte, North Carolina?
You know, it does. I mean, it's great to see teams like that. And, you know, I had the opportunity to spend 8 months in Nashville with Baker Curb, and I saw a lot of the challenges they faced, and I also saw a lot of the positives of the organization kind of being outside of the group. And that was a great race team, and I believe that we can attract some very good people to Florida as well, and there's some really good racers down here as well, guys that maybe want to come back to Florida that are up there. So, you know, there's definitely logistical challenges. You got to be a lot stronger in that area, but I think it can be done, you know, and I'm excited to try to work in that direction. Right now, to get through the short term, we've, you know, got an alliance with Tommy Baldwin Racing, and that's been great. I've got good relationships there, and they're working really hard. So it's been a really smooth transition so far.
Well, you said you were looking forward to Kansas. What else is on the agenda for 2012 other than Kansas?
Kansas and Homestead. So Kentucky, Kansas, and Homestead were the three for this year, and really, you know, kind of going to the Boy Scouts motto, be prepared. That's all this year is focused on. It's really just to be better prepared for next year, and it kind of get a nice little jump start. So it's going to make life really nice next year.
All right. Well, Scott, thanks so much for spending time with us. We appreciate it. Best of luck to you the rest of this year, and throughout the whole season next year. We'll root for you.
All right, great. Yeah, thank you, guys. And if you get a chance, check out hybridlight.com. It's I'll tell you, there's some pretty neat stuff coming out of there, and I probably should have told you guys a little bit about it earlier, but excited about what's coming down the pipeline with their technology.
Well, you got a minute and a half, so you go ahead and give your best commercial.
I don't know that I'm good at. I'm not that great at that kind of stuff, but I just know that we've been using the product for about 6 months at the dirt track, and basically it's patented solar power technology, lanterns, flashlights, and some cool stuff in regards. I know a couple of things they got coming. If put it this way: if you own a cell phone, you're going to be buying the product. The next product they're going to be launched in here. So, but we've been trying and truing it at dirt tracks, and it holds up to a pretty stern beat.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, Scott. We get closer to the 2013 kickoff. We get down to Daytona. We'll get you back on the show. You can tell us a little bit more about it and about the progress of the number 8 team for 2013. How's that?
Great. I look forward to it, guys.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot, Scott.
Have a good one.
Yep. Scott Lagasse.